Hi everyone, this is Deborah Clutter again, and I have a new project I've been working on, and it is a scrap quilt done on your long arm, and I'm super excited about this. It's not a new idea. I got it off of YouTube, but I just want to show you how I've been doing mine, and maybe it'll give you some ideas what you can do with yours. And I'm super excited about it because I can use all my scrap. I threw away a bunch of scrap and because I didn't know what to do with it, and now this is a great project to do, and it's so much fun. And I'll probably be making a lot of these because I don't know, it's therapeutic and it's just fun to do, and I want to show you some of the things I learned and some of the things that you probably don't want to do. This is my latest scrap quilt I'm doing, and I'm just doing an edge to edge right now. And I wanted to show you what I've learned. I learned that I need to zigzag all the seams to keep it from unraveling. So I went ahead and zigzagged as best I could, and I will continue to do that with every quilt that I make. This one right here is more of a quilt for a man. So I put playing cards, cars, some motorcycles, and tire tracks, and colors to match in the quilt. And this one doesn't have any blocks in it, so I think it'll be a nice quilt when it's done. I want to show you some of my lap quilts I finished. This one I think is the second one I did, and this one was done with a gray yarn, or I think you call it a chenille yarn, and this is what the yarn looks like. And I did 2 rows of this yarn, and as you can see, it did fray in some areas right here after I washed it. This one has been washed, and I can just trim those. So I know now to definitely zigzag over all my edges, and I think it looks much better. So this one actually turned out really nice. I like it. I kind of wished I would have stitched around my little hexagon flowers, but it's okay. And I think it turned out really nice for a gentleman to put on their lap. So I think that one turned out nice. This is, I think, the third one I did, and this one I used a yarn, and it kind of looks like this, and it's a twisted yarn, and I think it's a little bit, well, it's about the same size as this other one, but my machine hated stitching over this yarn. It didn't like it through the caoutchouc foot, and it wasn't very much fun, and it's not quite as soft as the other one. And again, I didn't zigzag over the edges, which I should have, and I wasn't very good at getting the yarn right on the edge. By the time I got to the last quilt I did a much better job. So this is kind of what this one looks like. It still looks nice. I just didn't like stitching with this yarn. The benefit of using this yarn, though, was that I didn't have to do a little serpentine stitch over the chenille yarn, because this one is a 3-strand yarn, so the needle just went through the middle of it. And so that's kind of what it looks like. The back is all pieced, and it has a scrappy binding. And I think it turned out pretty good. I put a few blocks in it. It doesn't have a ton of them, and most of them are just little pieced blocks. As you can see, there's one paper piece block in there, and I think that one turned out pretty good. Now, the next quilt I did was for my brother-in-law, and I he wanted this lap quilt, so I made one with motorcycles and tire tracks and all kinds of stuff, playing cards, San Francisco 49ers, because that's his favorite team. And so this one is for him, and it's really soft. And then I quilted it with like a Harley logo, sort of. And it's the bar and shield and some flames. And I think it turned out really good. It's really soft. I washed it, and it's just real nice and soft and cuddly. I did do a better job on this. It's not fraying as much, and I did get the yarn. I went over it twice with the chenille yarn, black chenille yarn, and I think it turned out much better. There's still a little bit of fraying, but overall I think it turned out pretty good. And this is what the back looks like. And you can't really tell all the stitching you do, you know, to stitch this down. If you just use some thread that kind of matches the back, it kind of just all blends in. So the edge of this quilt is just yarn, and it's this yarn right here, which is like a really big yarn, and I zigzagged it on with my regular sewing machine. I was going to say computer, and you can't really tell where it is. It's like right on the edge. So I serged the edge, and then I zigzagged it on one side, and then I turned it over and put it on the other side. And it makes a really nice edge. You can almost see it right here. Really nice edge to your quilt, and I actually really like it. It's nice and soft. My sister wanted me to put that on there, so Danny, you've got a nice soft edge on your quilt. So this is the latest one I did, and I haven't bound it yet. I'm still putting the binding on. And this one, again, for a man, it's got cars and motorcycles and playing cards, and it doesn't have any pieced blocks in it. So I just kind of made it simple, and then I used this yarn, which is kind of like a chenille yarn, but this one's twisted. It has 3 strands, so I didn't need to go over it, and I didn't need to zigzag on top of it. So this one turned out really good. It's still nice and soft, and I went over each one of these twice, and I did a much better job on this quilt. I zigzagged all the edges down, and I made sure I got right on top of the edge of where the piecing was, so that it wouldn't show, and you can't see it. I just noticed I have one spot right here that I only went over once. Well, most of the time I went over twice. I mean, seriously, if you want to come and fix it, you can just run some yarn there and zigzag over it on your sewing machine. But I think it'll be fine. Hopefully I'll wash it and make sure it doesn't come unraveled. And so this is what this quilt looks like, and the back again is just, I used gray thread throughout the whole thing, and the back is gray, so you can't hardly see any of the stitching that I did on it. And then I'm just going to finish the binding, and I'll throw it in the wash before I give it away, because I don't want to make sure that nothing comes undone. So I think this one will be nice and soft when it's finished. So those are all the different types of quilts I did. And then you're going to see in the next video the big twin or throw size quilt that I did, that I used the chenille binding on. And that one is a little bit different, and I probably will not ever do another one like that again, because it was time consuming and quite hard. So anyway, these quilts I love. These these are these are awesome, and they're just nice and soft, and with the flannel on the back, they make a nice lap quilt. Thanks.